Adda 24/7. We are in the ABM most important questions and case studies. We are actually covering for all the subjects ABM, BFM, ABFM, BRBL. I am covering ABM and BFM. So follow the series till the end, share it with your friends, share it on all your social media platforms, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon. Do it first, okay? Otherwise we forget it at the later end, okay? Let's start. What are the advantages of keeping adequate working capital? Means why should a company have adequate working capital? Firstly, what is working capital? Working capital means whatever we need for our daily expenses, paying the suppliers, paying the electricity bills, paying the salaries, daily working, revenue expenses. So what are the advantages of keeping it adequate? Adequate means sufficient. So solvency of the business, goodwill, easy loans, all of the above. First, let me explain you this working capital concept. Okay, kindly note. Okay, the answer is all of the above. Obviously, you got it. What is working capital? There are two types of working capital. Kindly note. One is gross, second is net. Gross working capital means basically current assets, all the current assets. They include these. See this. Inventory, cash, prepaid is not included in this. Inventory, cash and debtors. Three important parts. Okay. Cash means cash equivalent also. Cash doesn't mean only cash. It means cash equivalent which can be sold immediately. Liquid assets. Okay. And what is NWC then? Net working capital is current asset minus current liabilities. In this bank CC is not to be taken. Huh? Kindly note. Whenever you find out the NWC for processing of a CC, then remove this bank CC. Okay, that is important because that is a current liability that is to be removed. Got it, everyone? So these are the two types of working capital, gross and net. Tier 2 funds are limited to. So tier 2 funds are limited to what? Tier 2. Tier 1 and tier 2 capital. Tier 1 is what? Tier 1 capital means free capital, going concern. Going concern means, I'll give you simple examples. It is basically your paid up capital, okay, shares, net profit, reserves and surplus, revaluation reserves. Plus now that 81 also, PNCP and IPTI. Those are also the part of tier 1. Tier 2 means what? Gone concern, where you have to pay the interest. So it is limited to what? 25% of tier 1, 33% of tier 1, 50% of tier 1 and 100% of tier 1. Now you type in the comment section. This is useful for both ABM and BFM. The answer is max 100%. That's right. 100% of tier 1. Okay, 100%. Tier 2 cannot be greater than tier 1 capital. Never. Okay. Calculate the maximum permissible bank borrowings if current assets equals to 1 lakh and current liabilities equals to 50,000. So maximum permissible bank borrowing means what? How much bank can sanction the CC? Simple logic. Okay. CC sanction amount. Sanction. How much can the bank sanction the CC? That's a basic question over here. 28,750, 37,500, 48,750, none of this. You try it first, everyone. I'll give you 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute. Try it first. Doing it? Able to do it? I'll wait for 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, okay? Because it's a bit difficult one, logical one. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. What is the answer you're getting, everyone? Try it fast. Everyone, try it fast. Yeah. Okay, let me show you. See this. permissible bank finance means basically you have to first find out CA and this net working capital or gap. Gap equals to CA minus CL. 1 lakh minus 50,000. Okay, so it is 50,000. So out of this 50,000, kindly note, 75% is financed by the banks. Now depends on bank to bank and customer to customer. It's the requirement of that customer and risk appetite of the bank. So some bank may give 80% also. Generally, I am talking 75% will be sanctioned by the bank and 25% will be brought in by the customer. So 50,000 into 75%, 37,500. So this will be the bank finance. Okay. And this remaining part, 25%, 12,500 will be brought in by the customer as a customer margin. Okay. Kindly note this. Now there is a condition to this, very important condition. This margin bank can sanction as a term loan also to that customer separate, and that can be used as a margin. It happens. For bigger loans it's allowed. Okay. Very important part. Now before going ahead, everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 English channel. Click on the bell icon. Okay. Don't miss the bell icon and subscription button. Join the crash courses. Okay. How to join this I'll show you. Just now starting. Okay. You can join the Mahapack also. In Mahapack you are getting multiple batches. I'll show you at the end. Everything I'll show you how to join. Let's focus on the questions. Now these questions which I'll be taking further will be useful for your ABM also, for your BFM also. See this, BFM plus ABM. So they'll be useful for your ABM also and BFM also combined. Okay. A housing loan is given but the interest is payable along with the installment which shall fall due after 2 years. The borrower has not been paying the interest debited for last 5 quarters. The account shall be treated as. So housing loan is given but the interest is payable along with the installment which shall fall due after 2 years. So it will fall due after 2 years means this is related to what? This is known as which period? Moratorium. Okay, so this is a moratorium period. So today I have given the loan today, but the EMI will start after 2 years. EMI, it will start after 2 years. Okay, so if EMI will start after 2 years, what will that customer pay within that part? Within that part the customer will pay, actually he has to pay nothing, but as per the banking rules we generally pay the interest part, that's called as pre-EMI interest. Okay, so now the question is, the borrower has not been paying the interest debited for last 5 quarters. So this interest was not paid by the borrower within this moratorium period. So what shall be the account treated as? Standard account, standard irregular account, substandard account, standard NPA account. Think over it, everyone. Everyone think over it. What shall be the answer over here? It will be treated as what? Standard, standard irregular, substandard and standard NPA. What is this standard NPA? What is the standard NPA account? There is nothing called a standard NPA account. Okay. Substandard account. This is basically NPA. NPA starts with substandard, isn't it? Standard irregular account. This is also nothing like this. Standard irregular. So the answer is A. Standard account. Okay. So if a housing loan is given but the interest is payable along with the installment. Okay. Next one. Which of the following statement is not correct in context of the crop loans? Means in the context of crop, basically we are talking of crop loans and we want not correct. Okay. For short duration crops, the irregularity period is 2 crop seasons. For long duration crops, the irregularity period is 1 crop season. Crop classification as short duration or long duration is determined by SLBC. The rule is applicable for all agricultural accounts. So we want not correct. Which one is not correct? Okay. So which of them won't be correct in this? Understand this. See this short duration crop and long duration crop. What is it? What is the short duration crop? Short duration crop means that crop which is completed within one season only. Long duration crop means that crop which requires two crop seasons. Okay. So that is now which are those crops? We are not concerned with it actually. Banker gets the list of those crops. Okay. You get it from the head office and head office gets it from RBI. Okay. So two crop seasons, short duration and long duration. Generally this turmeric is considered as long duration crop. So now the question is, we don't want long duration and short duration crops. We want which one is not correct. So the short duration crop irregularity period is two crop season. Means what? If a customer has taken a crop loan and not repaid it, okay, not repaid it, okay, in two crop seasons, then it is considered as irregular. Means basically NPA. Similarly, the second one, the customer has taken the loan for long duration crops and not repaid for one crop season, then it will be called as this NPA. So these two are correct. This is correct. This is correct. Crop classification as short duration or long duration is determined by SLBC. So that is also correct. Okay. The rule is applicable to all agricultural account. That is wrong. Now what do you mean by this? The rule is applicable to all. It means suppose if I take a tractor loan, then also it is applicable. Suppose if I take a housing loan under agriculture as a farmer, then also it's applicable. So it's not. Okay. So that is the point. The important point over here is this is applicable only to those crops. Means all the above three are correct, but it is not applicable to other agricultural accounts. Okay. So now the question in your mind might be, what is SLBC? SLBC, okay, State Level Bankers Committee. State Level Bankers Committee. So this Bankers Committee gives the list of this crop duration, short or long, okay, and then it forwards it through RBI to all of the banks. Okay. So State Level Bankers Committee, this is the meaning of SLBC. Okay. Next one, which of the following provision requirement is stated incorrectly in context of doubtful accounts? So incorrectly in doubtful means these are these NPAs? So NPA level number 2, right? Substandard, doubtful 1, doubtful 2, and then loss. So which of the following requirements are stated are incorrect? For unsecured portion of the balance, provision is 100%. For unsecured portion of the balance, provision is 100%. For secured portion of the balance in doubtful up to 1 year, provision is 25%. For secured portion of the balance in doubtful above 1 year up to 3 years, the provision is 40%. For secured portion of the balance in doubtful above 3 years, the provision is 50%. So which one is correct? Think over it. This was there, the question was there in your JIB also earlier. So now think over it. Which one is correct? This question was there in your JIB also. Think. I'll give you 1 minute to think. Let me see in the comment section what are the answers I am getting. I want the incorrect one. Incorrect. Okay. What are the provisions? Substandard. Okay. So it is 15-25, right? 15 for secured, 25 for unsecured. Doubtful D1. What is it? 2500, right? Doubtful 2, 4000. Oh, sorry, 4000, right? And last one, loss. So that is complete 100. Okay, both 100 means secured and unsecured both. So now which one is correct and which one is not correct? I have given you the hint also now. Now what is the answer in this, everyone? The answer is D, for secured portion of the balance in doubtful above 3 years. Okay, the account provision is 50%. This is wrong. See here, doubtful one above 3 years becomes loss asset. See, this is for 1 year, this is for 2 years. So total is 3 years, doubtful 3 years. So above 3 years, the provision is 100. So this one is incorrect. Okay. Next one. For the purpose of valuation of securities for provisioning purposes, the collateral securities are to be got valued at least dash by the valuer appointed by the board approved guidelines. So for purpose of valuation of securities for provisioning purpose, provisioning, what do you mean by provisioning? Provisioning means whenever we do the secured or unsecured provisioning for this provisioning for the this NPL loans. Okay. So securities for provisioning purposes, collateral securities are to be got valued at least dash by the value. Means how many times do we get it valued? Means suppose if I have taken a security today and the loan is for 10 years. So this valuation of that security should be done by me as a bank at least in how many years for that loan account or for that security? At least in how many years? What do you think? It should be done every. Okay, let me get the answer from you. Okay. So it should be done in, what is the answer? Done in at least once in 3 years. Okay, it should be at least done once in 3 years for the provisioning purpose of securities for for the purpose of valuation of securities means valuation of those securities which I am using for the provisioning as a secured or unsecured. So these securities I must get it valued by the valuer appointed by the board at least once in a 3 years. Got it everyone? Once in 3 years. In case of substandard assets, the provisioning requirement is stated correctly in which of the following? Now we are talking of substandard. Substandard, what was the rule? Now you write in the comment section. For secured substandard assets, it is 15%. For unsecured substandard asset, it is 20%. For infrastructure unsecured substandard asset, it is 25%. And all of the above. Now what do we want? Correctly stated. Which is correctly stated? Correctly. Now give me the answer. Which of them is correctly stated? So the answer is, just now I had given you the classification, right? Some time back only in the same lecture. The answer is it is for substandard assets, it is 15%. Okay. So what is the provisioning? Look at this substandard. Again I'll write it 15, 25, right? 15 for secured, 25 for unsecured. Okay. For doubtful one, doubtful one it is, see this, it's written over here unsecured substandard, which is this unsecured substandard. So it is 25. That is wrong. So this is wrong. Infrastructure unsecured substandard assets, it is 25%. Unsecured. Okay. Substandard. Infrastructure unsecured. So that is reduced now by RBI. Okay. So that is not 25%. Got it? So the only correct answer over here is A. Okay. Because for infrastructure related, okay, what is the provision for infrastructure related unsecured substandard assets? You type. If this is wrong, then what is the right answer? What is the right answer for infra related substandard? Give me the answer. It is 20%. Remember, it is 20%. Got it? It is 20%. So that is the right answer. Got it everyone? Clear? Next one. Which of the following statement regarding the provision on the standard assets is not correct? So regarding the provision on the standard assets is not correct. You want it now, not correct. Okay. And the question is on provision on standard assets. Provision standard assets. Okay. So not correct. The provision shall not be reckoned for the purpose of arriving at the net NPAs. The provision shall not be netted off from gross advances. Provision shall be shown as contingent provision against the standard assets in Schedule 5 other liabilities in the balance sheet and none of the above. So which one is correct over here? We want here not correct. Understand the question, which is not correct. And provision on standard assets. What are the provisions on standard assets? Provision on standard assets are, the standard assets have various types of provisions. For agri, right? What are the standard asset provisions? Anyone can give me? For agriculture, what is the provision for standard asset? Standard asset, it is 0.25%. Okay, for MSME, standard asset, the provision is, everyone in the comment section, 0.25%, right? For housing, individual housing, remember it is individual housing, the provision is, everyone think over it, think over it. I want the answer in the comment section. These questions do come in the exam. Again 0.25%. Okay. For commercial real estate, CRE we call it. CRE, commercial real estate. What is the provisioning? Commercial real estate. The provisioning is 1%. Sorry, 0.75%. This one, yeah, it is 1%. And CRE RH, commercial real estate under residential housing, with residential housing, that is 0.75%. And for all other loans, all other loans, the provision is 0.4%, 40. Okay. So these are the provisions given. Remember these by heart. Again I'll repeat. Agri 0.25, MSME 0.25, housing 0.25, commercial real estate 1%, commercial real estate with residential housing 0.75%, all others it is 0.4%. So what do we want now? Which one is not correct? Okay. So provision shall not be reckoned for the purpose of arriving at NPAs. How can we arrive at NPAs using the standard assets? Obviously it can't be, right? So we want not correct. This is correct. So I'll write here true. This is true. Shall not be reckoned. I can't take the provision of standard assets as a provision for NPAs, right? Provision shall not be netted from the gross advances. That is also true. The provision is not netted from the gross advances. Okay, gross advance means total advances which I have given. Now, then where will it be netted? If it's not given through gross, then what? Then through what? See here, what is gross advance? Gross advance includes everything. Okay, so regular, standard, NPA, everything. So the gross advances we don't take it. Where will we take it then? We will be taking it in net advances. Okay, net. Got it? Provision shall be shown as a contingent provision. So that is true, because this is a contingent provision. This is not an NPA as of now, because I am just making a provision for the safety purpose, right? So contingent provision against the standard assets in Schedule 5, other liabilities in the balance sheet. So this is also true in Schedule 5. So this is also true. So the answer is none of the above. Which of them is not correct? So not correct is none of the above. All of them are correct. Got it? All of them are correct. Got it? Let's move on to the next one. Yeah. Which of the following statement is not correct regarding the floating provisions? Regarding the floating, remember this, floating provisions. The provisions can be netted off from gross NPS to arrive at the disclosure of net NPS. Okay. Think over it. Which of them is not correct regarding the floating provisions? I'll give you the answer later. First, you try yourself. Okay. So these provisions can be netted off from gross NPS to arrive at the disclosure of net NPS. So netted off from the gross NPS from gross. Okay. To arrive at disclosures of net NPS. These provisions can be treated as part 2 of Tier 2 capital fund with overall ceiling of 1.25% of the risk weighted assets. Okay. So 1.25% of the risk weighted assets. So these can be netted off as with the overall ceiling. Is this true? We want not correct. Remember the question, not correct. These provisions can be reversed to credit to P&L account at the discretion of the bank. So floating provisions, can they be reversed to credit to the P&L account at the discretion of the bank? So which of them is correct? And last one is none of them. What do you think? Think over the answer. Yeah. I'll wait for 1 minute. Yeah. Firstly, what is a floating provision? Many of you might be asking this, thinking this. What is a floating provision? Answer this. In the comment section, you answer me. What is a floating provision? Who can give me the meaning of floating provision? Floating provision is the amount of the banks that keep aside above the mandatory provisioning, compulsory provisioning. Okay, provisioning requirement against the bad loans established by the central bank. So whatever is a compulsory provisioning, above that, whatever I keep it separately, additional, that is known as a floating provision. So which one is not correct in this case now? Not correct is C. This cannot be credited, reverse back to the P&L account at the discretion of the bank. It cannot be done. Okay. So the answer is C. Okay. These provisions can be reversed, so they cannot be reversed. Okay. Now, as I told you before going, I'll be showing you how to join the batches. So, for joining the batches, go to Adda 24/7. I'll always suggest you to go through the app. In the app, you get 1% extra using the coin systems. Okay. So, go to Adda 24/7. Click on JIB and CIB. Click on JIB and CIB. Okay. Click on CIB November. Say this. Now look at this crash course. Join the crash course English one. Okay. It is starting from 11th October. Don't miss this. Immediately join it. Okay. Ebooks, test series, online live classes, expert faculties, interactive classes, recorded videos, limited size batches, everything you are getting. And click on buy now. At what cost? Look at the cost. Click on buy now. Put the code Y432. Never forget this code Y432. Okay. Y432. Click on apply. See this 77% off you're getting plus 1% extra using the app. So 78% off. If you join the Mahapack, in Mahapack you are getting multiple batches per subject. 15 plus batches per subject. Plus in Mahapack you are getting the electives also. Electives, that's also an advantage. So join this Mahapack immediately. Here also you are getting 78% discount. Okay. So join immediately. Use the code Y432.